So I'm preparing this video for you folks who are working on box module lab number 1, and you're going to do what's called a split wired receptacle. So you're going to have a receptacle that I've got down here in the picture, and notice this receptacle's got two wires. It's got a black wire and a red wire, one on each screw. On the neutral side, we're just going to have a single white wire installed. So I'm going to kind of walk you through real quick how this works, and what this is going to do is it's going to provide us a separate function. So if we decided to connect the red wire to the single pole switch, this bottom portion of the receptacle could be switched. If we left the black up here connected to the hots, of course the top half of this receptacle will be hot all of the time. So normally when we use a receptacle, it's got a wire connected on the hot side of the receptacle, and you'll see I've got the two screws there, and I've got one wire loosely installed on the receptacle. And what happens is this little connecting tab right there connects this screw to the bottom screw. So we have this part of the receptacle at the top will be hot, and the bottom part will be hot in this situation, connected all together. However, what we're going to do in this project is we have to have kind of two wires, each with a different function. So I'm going to add this red wire onto this receptacle. And if I connect this red wire to a switch, that means my bottom portion of my receptacle will be switched anytime the switch is turned on. I can also install them just the opposite. I can have the switch function at the top, and I can have the hot function at the bottom, depending on how I want to do it. However, in order to make this receptacle handle that and do that type of a function, I am going to have to remove this little tab right there, right at the end of my strippers. So if you grab a receptacle out of the box that's been used already, the ones in the closet, you can go ahead and grab those receptacles, and then you can take your needle nose pliers typically and just simply wiggle that little tab, and notice that tab will be removed. Just laid it right there. And so now when we install those wires, black and red, we're going to have proper function. So here's my completed receptacle all wired up and ready to go. Notice I've got the red wire on there, got the black wire, one on each screw. The tab is missing, so we're going to have separate function. And then on the other side, I just have one white wire or neutral installed. That tab stays intact because we have to have continuity all the way through on the neutral side, so we're not going to do anything different with the neutral. So the fatter prong here is the neutral side. Those all stay connected, and then of course we also install the ground wire on there so the receptacle is grounded correctly. So I've got the switch wired up here. I've got a black wire on the switch. A lot of times we'll use the black as the hot, and then we're going to use this red wire here that's going to be connected to our receptacle. And so remember, we talked about what happens in a circuit. We can have a switch, and so right now my switch says it's off, so that means it's open. So my wire connecting to the half of my receptacle right now is not energized. When I turn the switch on, now it becomes energized, and my lamps that are plugged in or something like that now are turned on. So my switch simply opens the circuit between the hot and that red wire and whatever the red wire is connected to. Notice there's no white wires or neutrals connected to the switch. You'll never have neutrals on your switch, but of course I will always have the bare copper or the ground connected to the switch. So what do we do with the neutrals? Typically, however many neutrals we have at that location, we're just going to simply connect them together with a wire nut at the switch location, because again, the white, the neutral, will not be installed on the switch.